I want you to remember my hand at your throat. In your most private moments, Clark, in all the years to come, I want you to remember the one man who beat you. Yes, I could have done that in the Batman voice, but I chose not to save my vocal strength. And if you guys haven't guessed what I'm talking about yet, then I don't know where the hell you've been for the past, couple days, but... And, of course, all of you should remember me, I'm Will. Been a while since I've done a video. It's a little thing called life, been keeping me busy. But... based on the quote that I just read, I'm pretty sure that you can guess that I'm talking about the announcement that happened this past weekend at the San Diego Comic-Con, where we got the announcement for The Man of Steel 2, which will feature
Electric Boogaloo.
No. Which will feature Batman. Yes, that's right. It's a Batman-Superman team-up film.
Is Ronnie Radke playing Batman?
No. Ronnie Radke is not anywhere involved with this production.
But it is only the first Batman and Superman team-up that will happen.
Yes, it is.
It is actually not the first, it is the second.
It has happened countless times in animation. It has happened in the comics, but it has never happened in live action in terms of a big feature film. So, we know that Henry Cavill will be, once again, playing Superman. And as for the Man of Steel, I saw the Man of Steel. I'm not a Superman guy, but...
it was good.
I thought it was okay.
I didn't say it was great. I said
To me, as someone that's seen some of the older Superman movies, Superman and Superman 2 are still the ones that have to be matched, and they have yet to be matched. So, still got a long ways to go. But the Man of Steel was a decent entry into the canon. But yeah, Warner Brothers, I don't know if you're brilliant, magnificent bastards or just complete goddamned assholes. And sometimes you're one, sometimes you're the other, generally you're both. And I say that with all the love in the world.
Hashtag no disrespect.
Actually, I say that with, a bit of hatred towards you. But when I saw the announcement, I was a little indifferent in terms of how we're going to do this, because obviously this brings up a whole bunch of questions. Is the Batman that appears in this movie going to be set up for his own solo films down the line? Is that the reboot that we're going to have? Are we scrapping the Batman Beyond idea that was being kicked around the past couple of days, from what I've been reading? So I'll get to that in a minute. And so it brings up a lot of questions and a lot of speculation. I trust that Zack Snyder will do it justice. I know a lot of people have been wanting a Batman-Superman team-up film for years. I guess you could throw me in that category, even though I prefer Batman, working solo and, without really teaming up with superpowered heroes, but what are you going to do? I mean, But anyway, but I digress.
It's only the first, it's actually the second of the two, like I mentioned a minute ago. It's the second of the 2014 movies that will feature both Batman and Superman. It's not the first.
Yes, the Lego
movie will both have Batman and Superman in it.
However, that doesn't count because it's not live action.
Yes, it does.
Shut the fuck up.
Is Ronnie Radke voicing Batman?
No, he is not voicing Batman. We don't know who's playing Batman
bet it's Ronnie Radke.
Because Christian Bale has recently announced that he will no longer be playing Batman. Sad panda.
Yes.
And
I thought he did a terrible job.
However, if Warner Brothers tells him, offers him a whole bunch of money, maybe he might come back and play Batman again, even though Chris Nolan isn't directing, Zack Snyder's directing, but Chris Nolan's still producing. And David Goyer, who I trust in terms of dealing with, the Batman mythos. He knows what he's doing. He will be writing the script along with Zack Snyder, so hopefully this will be pretty good. But yeah, when I heard about this, I was a little surprised because, like I said, I had heard for a while, on Batman on Film, which is the source that I go to for all of my Batman movie news, that we were going to be having possibly a Batman Beyond film. Now, this might be the part that pisses some people off, what I'm about to say. However, even though Warner Brothers was kicking that idea around, it would make the most logical sense if they do a Batman Beyond film for them to get Michael Keaton to play old Bruce Wayne. It makes the most logical sense. You could get Christian Bale to do it, because that would also make sense. Or, and here's the one that I would love for them to do, you could even get Kevin Conroy to play old Bruce Wayne. I'd be good with that. I think a lot of people would be good with that. And it would work. It would make complete sense to get one of those three. Not Clint Eastwood, because I heard that name kicked around too, and with all due respect to Clint Eastwood, I don't want him playing old Bruce Wayne.
No, not even close.
I don't. That doesn't make...
bad idea.
That makes no sense at all. So, I don't know where we're going with this whole Batman Beyond thing, since we're now focusing on Man of Steel 2 to be due out in 2014, because Warner Brothers wants to push it that fast. Then that means we're also getting a Flash film in 2016, and then... Oh, God. Yes, that's...
Justice League?
That means that we're getting a Justice League film in 2017. I mean, God
That's
damn.
too much. That's too little time.
God damn. Oh, and a Wonder Woman film is apparently being in develop, but no one cares about that because
Who's playing Wonder Woman?
She's irrelevant. I have no damned idea.
It might matter.
I just read it the other day.
If I see it or not, it might matter who's playing her.
I know a lot of people were talking about getting Gina Carano to do it, and then there were pictures that were let out recently about the man herself, Megan Fox, doing it as well. So
I've seen a picture of Megan Fox in the costume.
I bet Olivia Munn would do it. They'll probably get her.
Olivia Wilde could do it.
Olivia Munn would do it for $2.
Yep. God bless her. I'm kidding.
We're veering wildly off track here. No.
She's awesome, though.
So yeah. So a Justice League film in 2017. Goddamn. I'm not going to talk about the Justice League thing because if I do, it will only frustrate me.
Mm-hmm.
So that was the big announcement at the San Diego Comic-Con. And, I think it's a pretty bold thing to do with the fact that, we're going to have Batman and Superman in live action on screen for the first time in the same movie. And, I saw the logo that they revealed. The Superman logo is the same. I have a problem with the Batman logo. Yeah, I know, I'm picky. Deal with it. Because first of all, the way the logo looks, I don't know how you're going to make that work on an armored or rubber costume unless we're going with a comic book look where it's the basic, black on gray.
Or bat nipples.
There will be no fucking bat nipples in this movie.
I trust you above anyone, Ben. You probably trust Zack Snyder's judgment.
Fuck no, and no goddamn fucking bet credit cards either. At all.
Chew.
I'll fucking stab you.
Maybe Mr. Flashback leaving the network will get Will to actually talk about Batman and Robin one of these days.
Fucking hate that movie. Fucking hate it.
Damn.
Can go burn in hell. Joel Schumacher raped my childhood. Goddamned asshole. Get hit by a bus.
Oh, and I are laughing hysterically over here.
Well, yeah.
Because we might also be killed tonight. We don't know.
Anyway. So we don't know who's going to be playing Batman. I'm sure that they'll do an extensive casting search and that they will find, the right actor to play the role.
I've got a brilliant idea.
At least I hope that's what they'll do. This is Warner Brothers we're talking about.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, sometimes fucking brilliant, other times goddamned assholes. Most of the time they're both at the same time. Anyway, I am excited about this because it gives me a chance to do something I have always wanted to do. Prove why Batman is the better character over Superman. And this is going to be my chance. So when this movie comes out, yes, I will see it. And you can bet I will sit in the theater and I will be dressed in a Batman shirt. And when I see Superman people come in, I'll be like, he's better.
He's gonna call the Superman people marks. It'll be hilarious.
Boo hiss.
Oh, and if there's a scene in this upcoming film where Batman saves Superman's ass, you can bet that I'm gonna make sure all the Superman fans know about it.
All the super marks out there.
Yeah, because to me, and this is no offense to anybody that likes Superman or no disrespect to anybody that likes Superman, Batman's the more interesting of the two.
Yeah,
always has been, always will be. That's just how it is, and that's not just my opinion. That's Owen's opinion.
Yes,
and Ben Jaffet's opinion over there, even though he's not speaking right now.
He can be killed by a rock that is green.
Yeah, no lie.
That basically sums it up right there. So yeah. But I am excited for this. My concern is if they're going to do this right. That's my big issue that I have, because the problem is that the problem is that even though, I trust David Goyer's writing and that he knows what he's doing, I don't want Warner Brothers to look at this as being, this is going to be, the big cash cow, so who cares if we do it right? It needs to be done right, and it needs to introduce us to the new actor playing Batman, and also at the same time set up solo films that he's going to be starring in before we get to the Justice League movie. There are a lot of variables that have to be met in order for this to work properly. And they can't be taken lightly. Because they're not small variables, they're big variables. Mm-hmm. They're really big variables. And if Warner Brothers sleeps, like they like to do, on things, then it's gonna be a big giant clusterfuck. I don't want the big giant clusterfuck.
No one does.
No one wants the big giant clusterfuck. You basically at San Diego Comic-Con made every comic book fan in the world have a giant nerdgasm over the announcement. Mm-hmm. Don't ruin it by screwing this up. Take your time with it, do it right, and make sure that we get a quality film that does justice to both of the characters. Now, in terms of villains, that's open for, and in terms of, who else we might see, that's all up for speculation. But if I had to venture a guess, and you heard it here first, exclusively on this channel, my guess for the villain for Man of Steel 2, the Superman-Batman team-up, will be Lex Luthor. That seems to be...
It makes the most sense.
It makes the most sense, and I bet that's the direction they go. However, Lex will be the only adversary. I know some people might say, well, what about Lex Luthor and the Joker? I don't think we're ready for another interpretation of the Joker quite yet. Especially after what Heath Ledger, God rest his soul, did in The Dark Knight. So...
It has to be like at least 15 years before they pull something.
You heard it. So you heard it here first, folks. My opinion: Lex Luthor will be the adversary that Batman and Superman go up against. It makes the most sense, and I don't see how you could do any other villain other than Lex Luthor, because you can't use a Batman villain because that wouldn't make any sense.
Yeah, you can, and I've got the perfect way to do it.
You couldn't. Well, actually, no. What I'm trying to say is that other than the Joker, you couldn't really use another villain because it's a Superman-Batman film, not Batman-Superman. If Batman were the first name in the title, then you could potentially get away with that. But since it's Superman, and the film technically is a Superman film, you have to go with a Superman villain, and the only one that makes the most sense is Lex Luthor.
Well, what about this? If you're talking about Superman, you talk about the Daily Planet, and you talk about reporters, and you talk about secret reporters, and say Lex Luthor's got someone on the payroll. Say somebody sneaks in under an assumed name and is now on the payroll of the Daily Planet, and this person is basically going to take out Superman from the inside, because obviously Lex Luthor would know in this case that Superman and Clark Kent are the same person. So, needless to say, you have this person from the Batman universe is secretly on the payroll, and he reveals himself, and he helps Lex Luthor go after Batman and Superman.
Yeah, but
It could be the Riddler.
And I think it's Edward Nygma, exactly.
yeah, but see, I don't.
Nashton, under an assumed name, could be sending things. Like, he could be like a cub reporter.
I'm not saying that.
I think that's a good idea.
I'm not saying it's not a plausible idea.
I think it's a great
or
idea.
a probable idea, and I don't disagree that it's a. I don't disagree with that, but at the same time, there's not really a lot of, in terms of comic book history, scenarios where Luthor and the Riddler have teamed up with each other. It's always been Luthor and the Joker.
They're not trying to go after comic book fans.
They might be for this particular
as well
project.
But you have to understand how most people that are going to go see this film haven't read a Batman Superman comic book since they were children.
Probably.
That's true.
They're shooting for a market. This is coming from a marketing degree here. They're shooting for a market as disposable income and wants to see a popcorn movie.
Exactly.
That's
That's
all
what
they-
everybody wants to see nowadays.
So what they're going to have to do is, I hope they don't Michael Bay it up.
Oh God!
I doubt Zack Snyder will do that.
Well, I know, but
Thank God for that. Oh, by the way, Michael Bay, fuck you for ruining Ninja Turtles, you goddamned asshole.
I don't know why Megan Fox involved in that thing.
Megan Fox is not April O'Neil. They need a redhead.
Fuck you.
Thank you, William.
I'll agree with that one. Yes, thank you.
So yeah, needless to say, I just $4 off at Cosmic Bowling. She's just a cosmic girl.
Anyway,
No, I don't disagree with what Ben and what Owen have said, because I do think that's a great idea. But I think that since we already have Superman and Batman as our heroes, I think that they wouldn't want to bog it down by having too many characters. So I think that's why we'll only have one major adversary in this one, and that being Lex Luthor, because the only other one that would make logical sense other than Luthor is Brainiac. But I don't think that we would see Brainiac in the second one, because I think that would be something that would probably be in a third film where that would just be Superman going up against Brainiac.
maybe a teaser after the movie, like an after credits scene that introduces everyone to Brainiac and
Which
leads
Warner
us into the
Brothers
third one.
which Warner Brothers does not do.
Because they don't like Dr. Pepper ads at the end of their movies.
Exactly.
That's a good point.
But I think that it probably will be Luthor, so you heard it here first. I'm calling it now. If I'm wrong in a year, then guess what? Not the first time.
He was wrong in a year.
It won't be the last. But it makes the most sense to me.
Okay.
It probably would make the most sense to anybody else that Luthor would be the adversary. And in terms of how he would be introduced, I would go with, Owen's idea about maybe he has some ties to the Daily Planet, because, we know that he's an industrialist. We know that he owns, LexCorp.
Which was mentioned in Man of Steel.
So, the seed has kind of already been planted. We just didn't physically see Lex Luthor. But we know he's there in the shadows in spades. So, but Luthor seems to be the one that makes the most sense. Now,
Do you want to talk Batman?
That's exactly what I was getting ready to actually do.
Good, because I've got my response to you, so go ahead.
There is no one that I can... I know Owen will have someone in just a minute as soon as I finish this.
Me and AJ have already talked about this.
Saying what I'm saying. There's no one at the present moment that I could see filling the role for Batman right now, because it's kind of... Here's the thing about live action versus animation. You know, Kevin Conroy has been voicing Batman for 20 years, 22 years almost. So when DC does these animated movies, and they say there's another voice actor that's going to be playing Batman, it's not a big shock to the system, because you don't see the person that's doing the voiceover work. You know, so like when Bruce Greenwood did Batman in Under the Red Hood, I thought he did a great job. Same with John DiMaggio, who voiced the Joker in that particular... I thought he did a great job too. And it's not a big shock to the system, because even though we're used to hearing Kevin Conroy and used to hearing Mark Hamill, when they say, well, we're going to change it up a little bit, you can adjust to it easier. Versus seeing somebody in live action. So when we're introduced to this new Batman and it's not Christian Bale, it's going to be like a shock to the system kind of moment. Like, it might take a little bit more getting used to, because it's not going to... The transition of who they get to play Batman is not just going to, you know, dissipate overnight, because... And I can guarantee you, every single fan who enjoyed Christian Bale, minus his voice, of course, which sounded like, you know, he had a smoker's cough and needed a throat lozenge in every scene, for God's sake. Even though I understand the method behind that, in terms of the voice, it's just going to be a major shock to the system to see somebody else other than Christian Bale in the costume. So when we see who's playing Bruce Wayne Batman on screen for the first time, and we realize it's not Christian Bale, it's going to be like, wow, this might take a little getting used to, but as Batman on film said, you know, as much as we may not want to, we need to move on. We have to, you know, move on and realize that, you know, the Dark Knight trilogy is done, Bale's not coming back, Nolan's not coming back to direct. I hate you, Paul Heyman. Nolan's not coming back to direct, Bale's not coming back to play Batman, and we have to accept it and we have to move on. We don't have a choice. So, I'm excited at the prospect of this, because I think it's a damn great idea that we're going to have Superman and Batman teaming up on film in live action for the first time. I just hope the story will be right. I hope that, you know, they don't rush it. I hope that they make a good quality movie. And I mean, everybody at the San Diego Comic-Con, you know, gave a big pop when it was announced and the logo came up on the screen. Now, that quote that I read at the beginning, I don't think that we're going the Dark Knight Returns route. I think they threw that quote in there as a way to get people amped up and get them excited about the fact that this was going to be the first time that we're seeing Batman and Superman team up with each other in a live-action film. So this is every fanboy's dream. So, but again, you know, we'll just have to see what happens. I wouldn't expect any announcements in terms of casting and all that stuff for quite some time, because, you know, besides working on that, you know, we've got Arkham Origins slated to come out. They announced 3 new DCU animated films. Justice League War, which is going to be based on the New 52, which is the reboot of DC for anybody that has or hasn't read any of that. I've read very little of the New 52 so far because I haven't had a chance. And also, we're getting Batman and Son, an animated movie, which was based on one of the stories that Grant Morrison wrote, who's still continuing his run on Batman. And this is the one that really has me interested and excited. We're getting an animated film called Batman. It's Batman Arkham. So basically what it's going to be, I think it has a little bit more in the title. I can't remember it off the top of my head, but basically what it's going to be is it's going to, according to the panel at Comic-Con, follow the Arkham games, meaning Arkham Asylum and Arkham City. Now I'm not sure if that means if they're going to produce an animated film based off of those two games, but it's supposed to follow the format of the games, and so I'm guessing that means that we will probably get a animated Batman film in the Arkham-verse, as it's being called. Which, that's really exciting, and I would hope that since Kevin Conroy has done the voice for the games, that they would get him to voice Batman in the animated film that they're going to do, because that would make the most sense. At least it would to me. And I'm sure it would to a lot of other people, too. So yeah, there was a lot that went on at Comic-Con, and as for the whole Batman Beyond thing, I don't really know. I don't really know if that's going to be sort of like put on the back burner, if it's going to be shelved. My guess would be that since they're going this route with Batman and Superman, that after we have Flash in 2016, after we have Justice League in 2017, and after we've had some solo adventures with the new cinematic Batman, they will probably do Batman Beyond after the fact. Or, after they do the Justice League, they might just say, well, what the fuck, we're just gonna do, Batman Beyond anyway, and, not do any solo adventures with the new cinematic Batman that we introduced in Man of Steel 2, which doesn't make any sense. So, and it will also be interesting to see what the title of that film is actually going to be, because I don't think it's going to be Man of Steel 2. I'm pretty sure it will come up with something. But yeah, what I was saying earlier about the logo. I have a problem with it because, first of all, the logo is not, it's not Year One, it's not Dark Knight Returns, it's not the logo that Nolan used for his films. It actually looks like the logo that was used in a 2003 fan film that someone made called Batman Predator, which basically had Batman fighting the Predator and the aliens, and the Joker had a small bit in it too. But the symbol on the Batsuit was very similar to the one that they used at Comic-Con when they made the announcement. So that makes me think that maybe instead of doing the armored suit, we're going the whole, maybe basic gray on black, and we actually might see Batman wearing tights instead of wearing, rubber underpants, so to speak. I might be wrong about that. Pray to God that I am. Because unless they decide to do the costume, and not do it all black and do it black and gray, which would be, different from what they've done before. But we'll just have to wait and see. Again, it's all up for speculation. We've got a whole year before this comes out, but again, I think this is really gonna. I think if the Superman-Batman team-up movie is successful, and it does well, and it's well received by fans and critics alike, my faith in terms of a Justice League film might be restored slightly, because if this team-up film works, then Warner Brothers can say, okay, well, this worked. Maybe now we can do this Justice League movie, and everyone will stop giving us shit about it. Now that they've seen how successful this venture was, I think that that's a good way to sort of blossom people's interest, not only for a potential Justice League film, but also if this team-up dynamic works, that gives Warner Brothers a chance to say, okay, we'll make a Flash film, we'll make a Wonder Woman film, and then when we get to the Justice League film, we've already done one team-up movie with Batman and Superman. That was 2 characters. I think we are capable of handling 7 of them. So we should we should be able to do it without a problem. At least that would be my thinking. I don't know if my two esteemed colleagues who are busy watching John Cena and Daniel Bryan right now agree with me.
What?
Well,
Rorschach should be in it.
well, here's the thing. We're talking about...
Fuck you and your fucking Watchmen.
Hey, Zack Snyder did Watchmen, so
he also did Sucker Punch.
Sucker Punch wasn't bad. That's AJ's call, not mine. I didn't see it. Okay. You want to talk about a Batman, and you got to go to somebody who's a great actor. Someone who doesn't necessarily have to be a household name. Somebody that not many people really know yet, or really know of his true potential. He's stoic. He is built.
But it's also someone that has to have chemistry with Cavill and can play off his Superman.
Guarantee you he can have chemistry with anyone.
Who plays Rorschach?
No. We're not talking Jackie Earle Haley.
Freddy Krueger will not play Batman.
Thank you. So, no, you're in the right trail, though. I think the perfect Batman would be the perfect Bruce Wayne, and the person that could carry on Christian Bale's legacy and start a new legacy of his own with the new movies is Armie Hammer.
See,
Armie Hammer needs to play Batman.
I've actually heard that name because before Bale was going to do it, there was...
That's right.
There was, Hammer was going to do it, and I think he'd even been fitted
Correct.
For the costume. Mm-hmm. But since the Lone Ranger didn't do as well...
Forget about the Lone Ranger.
Which, by the way, is a Disney film...
It's actually not a bad movie, as you guys watched it.
No, I don't think it's a bad. I haven't seen it, but some people have told me that they've really liked it. But
you made Tonto the star of the movie.
It's called Tonto.
Yeah, that's what the film should have been called.
Or
it's
Armie
Tonto.
Hammer.
But since he's played the Lone Ranger, I agree with you that he would be a good choice for it.
Yes,
and he would be a great choice for it. But I think people would have trouble looking at him as anything other than the Lone Ranger. Especially if he does a sequel to the Lone Ranger.
They won't. Do you know how much money they tanked? It's the new, what was that term?
John Carter.
Yeah.
John Carter of Mars.
Yeah, that was a great film too, wasn't it?
God, that was one of our mistakes. The thing about it is the Lone Ranger aside, I really think that Armie Hammer is the perfect choice. He really is. I mean, he could play amazing Bruce Wayne. He's going to play a tough-as-nails Batman. That could be vulnerable as well, which is how Michael Keaton played the character in 1989. So, he'd do a throwback to the Michael Keaton Batman. That's what I see Armie Hammer's version of Batman being, and I think it'd be phenomenal.
I could be on board with that, as long as he...
Like the whole Guy Pearce is the Riddler talk.
As long as it's done... Right, and by the way, I swear to fucking God, you cast Eddie Murphy as Egghead, we're gonna have a fucking problem. You understand? That shit ain't gonna fly.
At least he cares.
That shit ain't gonna fucking fly.
That's a weird...
I better not. I better not. When this reboot happens, see Eddie Murphy cast as Egghead going exquisite, exponentially excellent. Because I swear, if that fucking happens, I will storm the studios of Warner Brothers
and they will shoot you down.
And my God, I will give you a fucking piece of my fucking mind, and you're not gonna like it.
Pip, 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 pip.
Oh my God,
folks.
I will raise fucking Cain. No fucking Eddie Murphy is Egghead.
They would never go that direction. He just was a marketing
Shut up, I'm
character.
ranting.
He was a Pluto Mars.
Seriously.
Not Pluto.
It better not happen.
What was it called?
Pluto Nash.
Yeah, Pluto Nash.
I got Bruno Mars and Pluto Nash mixed up. Because they're both bad.
Yeah,
Sorry,
they are.
Bruno.
But no, back to Owen's point that he just made. I think that Armie Hammer would be a good choice. Is there anybody else that you...
Tommy Lee Jones.
Fuck off.
Honestly...
Do not say Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
No, well, yeah, that's definitely an option. And that's obviously a direction they're
If
going
you
to go.
wanted to play Nightwing.
No, Gordon-Levitt could pull it off. I know he can.
If they're going to use Gordon-Levitt...
Okay, fine. You want to get real technical? You want somebody that could be a good Batman? A great Bruce Wayne?
Hold on.
I got one for you.
If they're going to use Gordon-Levitt, that would be best left
Nightfall.
for a Batman Beyond film that they've been talking about doing. That would be the best time to use Gordon-Levitt, because that would make sense, considering that at the end of Rises, he took over. That would make more sense.
We're going to have a kid play Batman if they're doing Batman Beyond.
Yeah.
But see, that would make the most sense.
I mean,
To use him as the new Batman in Batman Beyond, if they decide to make a Batman Beyond film at some juncture.
Because how old's I forget his name in Batman Beyond.
Bruce Wayne?
No.
Terry
McGinnis.
17 years old.
They're gonna. I mean, they don't have to find a child to do.
Well, no, but
You're gonna
but
have
see
to
what
get an unknown.
but see what I'm saying. What I'm saying is,
that's
if they do
a
Batman,
babyface.
if they do Batman Beyond, and Joseph Gordon-Levitt wants to do it, I would cast him as. It probably won't be. They may not make it Terry McGinnis in the live-action movie, but I would cast him to be the one that plays Batman opposite whoever's playing old Bruce Wayne, because that would make the most sense from a logical perspective. Because at the end of Rises, it was hinted that Joseph Gordon-Levitt's character would take over as Batman.
Correct.
That's why I say save it for Batman Beyond down the road.
If you're in the same universe, though, you might as well move on to the next Batman film if it's going to be the Batman-Superman team-up.
But I would rather have Hammer than I would Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
I want Hammer to do it, too. But I got another Batman candidate for you, and it might be a little bit of a controversial choice, but it's somebody that could pull off Bruce... I know someone that could pull off Bruce Wayne. Kind of the way... Okay, you say what you want about George Clooney, but he pulled off Bruce Wayne, right? He did. You got to admit that. He did. Because Bruce Wayne and Danny Ocean are very similar to each other.
I've got a headache.
I don't see that.
No, he played great Bruce Wayne. He was terrible Batman. Okay, no.
Why didn't they put a stunt guy in the suit?
I got an idea. Well, like I said before, it should have been...
Did they not?
It could have been Kilmer in the suit, and it could have Kilmer as Batman, and Clooney as Bruce Wayne. They could have worked. We talked about this before.
Yeah, but then when Batman had dialogue, and it wasn't George Clooney talking, that would have been a problem.
Yeah, but here, that would have fit for those movies, for strangely saying that. But no, I've got someone that comes to mind that would not be a very likable choice, but somebody I know that could play the role. And I don't know if the age factor would matter. I don't know how old Batman would be in this universe. I don't know how old Batman
I would probably say he would be in late 20s, probably early 30s in this one.
This person would have to... This person's a little bit older than
Because
that.
if you remember, in Rises, he was 38.
This person's in his late 30s, but I think he could pull off an interesting Batman.
Okay.
And he is a amazing actor. He is a Oscar winner.
Okay.
And just like Clooney, but he's basically become the it guy in Hollywood lately. And the guy that possibly could play Batman, and you're probably gonna look at me strange, you probably attack me when I say this, is Ben Affleck. Ben Affleck would be a great choice for an older Batman.
Have you... Hold on, William, before you flip out.
He doesn't need to flip out. Affleck is awesome.
Have you seen The Town?
Yeah, you need to watch The Town.
Because now that he's saying that...
Can you see that now?
Yeah, you need... If you... Watch The Town before you kill...
Watch Argo. Watch Argo.
Argo was good, but that's also because I'm a huge fan of the Iranian hostage crisis. And not fan as when it was good it would happen, but a fan as in I like the history.
Ben Affleck.
It's an interesting choice, but I like it. I like Affleck.
He was bad in a little movie called Geely.
Geely's not as bad as people say it is.
I don't know what planet I'm on anymore. I really don't.
Welcome to hell.
Can you see Affleck as a great Bruce Wayne?
Yeah.
I can too.
As a Bruce Wayne.
As Bruce Wayne, yes. As Batman, no.
No, Affleck would be fine as Batman. He'd have to shave his face, obviously.
Bruce Wayne, yes, but
he's got the stoic features. Works.
I would have trouble believing him as
Batman.
Batman.
Everyone would have trouble that are fans of the series, but for... You know,
the
schmucks that go to the movie theater aren't going to have a problem with it.
But Armie Hammer, I wouldn't have a problem with seeing him as both Bruce Wayne and Batman. And that, again...
He pulls off the billionaire look. Watch him as Tyler Winklevoss
But again,
in
with the whole Joseph Gordon-Levitt thing, that's why I said save him for Batman Beyond, because I guarantee you, people go to see this movie, and if it's Joseph Gordon-Levitt, Only thing they're going to think of is Robin. That's it. And they're going to say, no, this doesn't work. Because of that last scene in Rises where the woman tells him, you should use your real name. I like that one better. Robin. Everyone will look at Joseph Gordon-Levitt as being Robin /
John Blake.
Nightwing rather than Batman. That's why I say save that for Batman Beyond.
If they're going to go that direction, I can see that. But I don't know if they're going to go that direction or not.
If they do, like I said, my 3 choices for old Bruce Wayne, Michael Keaton, that one obviously makes the most sense.
I can see that.
Christian Bale, possibly, but no. And this one is the one that I would love for them to do. Like I said, get Kevin Conroy to do it. That would work perfectly.
If it's animated, I see that perfectly.
Even if it's
but
live
action, it's
action,
not gonna
I
be
could
the same though.
But it won't matter. You know why? Because once they hear the voice,
yeah,
that's what will do it.
It could be Will Arnett in face, but if you heard Kevin Conroy's voice coming out of him, it'd be a different story.
Yeah. I mean, even if they got Conroy to dub because whoever they cast as Batman doesn't have a deep enough voice, I would be fine with that.
Okay.
If they got Conroy
I don't want
to dub the
Smoker
lines.
voice Batman anymore.
We don't want Harvey Firestein.
No. What I'm saying is that let's say they cast Armie Hammer, but let's say that his Batman voice.
Well, his Batman voice should be spot on.
Let's say that his Batman voice maybe isn't much different from his Bruce Wayne voice, and Warner Brothers is like, no, we need something, deeper. If they had Kevin Conroy dub his lines in post, I wouldn't have a problem.
It'd be hard to do.
It'd break continuity too.
Yeah, it would be really. It'd be like watching a Godzilla English dub,
or Michael Winslow in the Police Academy movies.
But see, that's why I think
that was funny though.
That's why I think that if they do Batman Beyond, that's why I think that Kevin Conroy would be a good and logical choice to be old Bruce Wayne because it makes perfect sense. And because once you hear him, talk in the voice,
true.
That's just
I see that.
It makes perfect sense because it again continuity.
True.
So that's why I say it would be the same. It would be the same if Mark Hamill were cast in a live-action Batman movie as the Joker. That, again, for the same reason. I mean, obviously not now, but when he was younger, that would make because he transforms when he would record in the recording booth.
Yeah. And
he would stand up and pull his hair and shake his fist when he was doing the Joker's voice. That's why if it were Hamill and it was the Joker, that would make sense too. But anyway, again, it's a lot of speculation. I'm sure we're going to hear a lot more about it, but
I'm sure we'll talk a lot more about it too.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I'm also going to be talking about, my animated series retrospective, more about, Origins, and also find out some more about these 2 new, not the Justice League War animated movie, but the 2 Batman animated films that I mentioned earlier, Batman and Son and Batman Assault on Arkham. That's the title that I couldn't remember earlier in the video. It's Assault on Arkham, which, as I said, is supposed to follow the Arkham games. So, again, having Kevin Conroy voice Batman for that project makes sense. Completely. So I'll be getting to those at some point whenever those are released. It'll probably be a couple of months or at least probably a year before some of those come out. Except for Origins, because we know when that comes out. That comes out October 25th.
And I know it's about 45 minutes of the video by now, but if you guys hadn't noticed yet, this is a Will-Ditorial, and it will be marketed as such.
Yes, it is.
So yeah, I just wanted to mention that.
But I started it a little differently this time, because I felt it was appropriate for this particular topic to do so. That's why I started with the quote when I started the video. But still, I'm excited about the announcement. I think everybody else should be excited about the announcement. I think that, for Batman and Superman fans, this is like a dream come true, because this is because not only is it bringing two of the most iconic characters in all of pop culture together, but it's also really, going to drive in both fan bases for both characters. And it's also going to bring up the age-old debate that's been raging for years. Is Superman better than Batman? Or is Batman better than Superman?
He can be killed
by
a rock.
Like Ben said, he can be killed by a rock.
And that's Superman, not Batman.
Yes.
He can be killed by anything. Batman can, basically.
Yeah, but
he doesn't.
But he's a prison punk and he can take it.
Yes.
Exactly. And I know where I stand on this debate. Batman's better.
Yeah.
That's just the truth. That's just how it is. Sorry, folks. That's the reality.
Oh, yeah.
But, again, you may not have... I heard that.
I'm talking about what's...
Yes, I noticed that's what you were talking about. Surprised you didn't say 9 out of 10 would bang. Anyway.
No.
But anyway...
You're looking at it too, William.
Actually, I was looking at the two of you, and I was looking at Dustin go. Or looking at Sir Owen go.
I have no idea who this Dustin person is. People need to stop bringing him up. They stopped for a while, and then you said his name. I have no idea who this Jay Brown is.
Man.
I was watching Sir Owen go like that, and then that kind of distracted me, so...
The Spin Man.
I throw my arms up at confusion of what you guys are talking about.
But anyway... I'm excited about the announcement. I think everybody else should be excited about the announcement. I think the direction that they're going is going to be an interesting one. And we'll just have to see what happens with the cinematic Batman from this point forward. But I think that if this is done correctly, I think this will be a great introduction to whoever's going to play the new cinematic Batman and the solo adventures that will follow. And, maybe down the line, we'll have a Batman Beyond film. Perhaps. Yeah, the box has not been kind to Edward Nygma. Anyway.
No, Jim Carrey.
Sorry, it was a kick-ass commercial, but anyway.
Dude.
So, as Sir Owen mentioned, this is a Will-Ditorial, but I started it a little bit differently. But once I know more about this project, I will be covering more about it, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I might have been a little rusty since I hadn't done this in quite some time, because I've, been busy with other things. But hopefully I'll be able to do these Will-Ditorials a little bit more frequently and, talk more about Origins, which that will probably be my next Will-Ditorial topic, because we have the 4th Assassin for Arkham Origins announced, and it is Copperhead. But that will be saved for another video at another time. I think it's a very interesting choice, though, considering that Copperhead really hasn't been featured in really mainstream in a lot of Batman stories. He was in a couple of episodes of Justice League back in 2001 when they did the animated when Bruce Timm and company did the animated Justice League TV show, but in terms of being in the comics, he's not really all that mainstream, and I don't think he's really all that well known. But like I said, that's another video for another day. But I hope you guys enjoyed this, and hey, be excited about this, because I think this is going to be really awesome if Warner Brothers, does things right, which I'm sure that they hopefully will. And if they don't, may God have mercy on their souls, because I will lead the riot if it's not done correctly. We will come with torches and pickaxes, and we will storm the doors of Warner Brothers Studios. So just keep that in mind.
Here, take this shovel and put her some good use.
But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and until next time, I'm out.